Okay, I'm going to show you one last way that we can put some section in and some detail with that section, and it's called a call out. I'm going to come over into my section 1, which is that south section. We're looking from the south, and I'm actually going to rename this one now so I don't get too confused as I go along. So you can do the same. So we'll just call this south section, and I'm going to take the 1 out of there as well. Okay. If I look at the if we look at the east elevation, that's the one looking from the east. We want the west elevation. That's that one there. So if we go back in and look at section 2, which is the west elevation, we'll call that one west section. And you can take that number out. We'll just call it west. And OK. And we have one more section, which is the raft, looking at the rafters. So I'm going to call that rafter section. And really the naming is up to you. There's nothing, there's no solid way of doing that. It's up to you what you call it. Okay, so we've got all those in. I'm going to come back to my south section, and I'm looking at that, and there's quite a number of things there I need to clean up on that. First of all, I want to get rid of this grid stuff here, so I'm going to come in, and you've done this before, find grids and hide those. Okay, I've got all this foundation stuff for the patio. I don't want to be seeing that. What I'm really interested in is the roofing and that sort of thing up here. So I'm going to go back into my ground floor, click on that, and you can see that goes all the way down. That's why it's showing it. We'll just drag this back down so that it's in a pretty narrow area there, and that way if we go back into that south section, you can see we've lost all that foundation stuff there. Also just going to tidy this up, just drag this up a little bit so that it gets out of the house. That's looking quite good. The other thing I need to tidy up is again this all this stuff here, so just quickly do this. Try and get this as neat as possible. I'm rushing it a bit here, but you should be able to get it pretty neat. How's that looking? We probably can come a bit further down with this one, and a bit over, and this one over a bit as well. Still not good. We can come up a bit with that one. Okay, ground floor we might do the same. Put it up a little bit. Okay. Alright, so we've got all those in. So what I want to do is I want to look at this little bit here and actually blow it up. And by the way, we can probably go to 50 to 1 for this one. It may be a bit small, but we'll look at that later and make some changes if we need to. Okay. So what I want to do is look in this corner. So I'm coming back to my view and I'm hitting this thing called call out. And it allows me to draw a box around here, around that area, and when I click I've got this little thing here. I think we can move this around wherever we want to move it to, and I'll just drag that one over there. Oops, got a big elbow. But you can get the idea of how that will work. Okay, now that will get a number when it goes into a sheet, and what it's doing is actually now if we go back in we can see that we have should be call outs here somewhere. If we click on it and right click on it, we can go to view, and you see you can get a very good view of that. And what we can do while we're there is we can actually put some dimensions in there. So I'm going to throw some dimensions in to say that this is 300 by 300. Just come out so that's still within that area. Oops. I put 2 in there, so I'm just going to do that again. Remember, you've got to come away from it to click it in. I'm going to put in that this is 100 by 100. And I'm going to put in 300 by 300 by that one. Hit us exit a couple of times, and we should be able to find that call out there somewhere. Let's just have a look. It's in this list somewhere here. I'm just going to close a few of these down as I go along. So we've got elevations, we've got, there it is, call out of south section. Okay, so if we click on that one, that's what we can see. Again, we're going to have problems with this, with all this here. You need to tidy that up a bit, as it will be always be a bit of a problem with it. And you can change the scale on that as well. In fact, that call out actually changes the scale to 1 to 25, so that will be good. Just if you want to make that box a little bit bigger, you can just click on it and drag it out like so. All right, so we've got all of that notes and information that we can use, and you can use these for anything. It'll be up to your imagination, and that's some of the stuff that I'll be assessing, is that extra stuff that you put into your drawing to make it as realistic and as on par with a commercial set of plans as you possibly can. Okay, go on to the next video.